Hello. Well, that was a little bit upsetting. Can everyone hear me okay? Could you hear that music all right? Is it working all right? I'm just a little bit upset because I did my first Song Timber stream like 5 days ago, and it's been a bit frustrating actually because I did my first stream and it went absolutely swimmingly after all those streaming problems I had a couple of months ago. When I was just like ready to scream rather than stream, and it went great, and I was really happy with my progress during that stream, and so I was really looking forward to today. The last few days have been a bit manic. I had 3 gigs. I had a band rehearsal. My middle kid turned 15, and my partner Donna had another birthday. We'll not say her age. um, and yeah, so it's been a bit busy. So I've been like really, I was really excited to get back to this today, and then the stream won't start. I'm going to tell you what happened was everything looked good, and it said stream health excellent. I started it, and it all went to shit. It said stream health poor, not enough data being received to stream, blah blah blah, and it just wouldn't work. And what I've actually done is I've been in the house and I just unplugged the router and gave it a moment and plugged it back in. Came back in here and it said excellent. So I've started it. Hopefully everything's okay. Jade says all clear. Everything's working for you, Joe. Fantastic. I'll tell you what, right? So I kind of had an idea what I was going to say when I started this stream, but obviously now everything has gone to shit. So let's start off by saying hello to everybody who is here, who has been patient enough to wait for me, right? So let's see. Who have we got? We have Jade Star. Hello, Jade. And Mateus, thank you. Mateus is a trooper. He's always there for me. And Mateus sat through so many disastrous streams that just didn't work. I can't thank the guy enough. Hi, Troy. Glad you could make it. Joe, DJ Cthulhu, who I've been talking to quite a bit on YouTube comments. Have we got anyone else here? Don't want to miss anyone. I think that's everyone for now, apart from the lurkers who are not talking in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Have I ever thought of using my phone as a hotspot for when things like this happen? I have, yes. And actually, when I very first started streaming, I was just using a phone. I was just using my iPhone, and everything kind of had to be in the one shot. And actually, some of those streams when I watch them back now, considering what I had to work with, were okay. You know, they were all right. I have thought of it, but the problem is that once you've got everything set up, like I've got all this business set up, you know, it's kind of difficult to. Oh, we've lost a camera. Great. It's kind of difficult to just sort of revert to that, mainly because my camera, my phone and my old phones are my cameras. I don't actually have a webcam. What I have is 3 iPhones and an Android phone. The Android phone is the new view. It's this one. Well, that's working. Look, that's a slightly poorer. It's a slightly poorer quality image because I'm using Droid Cam for that, and with Droid Cam I've got to buy it to get a better picture, which I will do if I use it for a few more streams and it keeps, and I'm happy with that shot and I feel like I need the overhead shot, then I will buy it. So let's see if we can fix that camera, right? I probably, if I unplug it and plug it back in, it probably will work. Let's just see. I've done the old turning the thing around. Oh no, wait a minute, we've lost another one now. We're having such a fun. Yes, I trust that computer. This one wants me to put my. It's probably because I had to go around unplugging stuff. It's upset all my cameras. Right, now if I just grab this mouse, I can probably get these cameras working, I think. Right, I'm going to unplug this one and plug it back in. I think that's going to work. All right, so there's my side view for the iPad for all those times when I forget to use a mouse, so you can see what I'm doing. And right, now the other one, let's just open up the software for that one. Press that. We should be okay. All right, okay. Right then, so thank you everyone for being so patient. Oh, Kenora Music. Hi, thanks for joining us. Now, let's see if I can get my head together. Right, so in my first stream, we got this piece of music. We got it moving. I added some extra chords. I added the introduction piece. What I want to do is, because I've not had a chance to have a look at this at all, so what I want to do is I want to have a listen to where the section that I already had before goes into the new chords, and then I want to make it loop back after the new chords back into the chords I had before. So basically, another error. My mouse is now operating on my old iPad instead of my new iPad. But if I just go to the old iPad and switch off Bluetooth, it will probably jump onto this one. There we are. Right, okay. Right, okay. Let's hope there are no more errors today. Right, yeah, so basically this is the section that I already had when I started this piece off. This is the new section. So if I, let's say, set up a loop. No, that's not the beginning of that bit, is it? From there to the end of this bit. Right, and then we're going to play this bit into this bit and see what it sounds like when it loops back. Do the chords work? Do they flow well when they go back to that section? If not, I have a problem. Alright, well, I think that works. I'm pretty happy with that. Is my mic level okay? I'm just trying to find my mic level on my streaming software here. I'm going to turn that up a bit. Let me know if anything audio-wise is not satisfactory. I can see that the video stuff all seems to be okay now. Alright, so I think that works really, really well. I'm happy with that. There's not as much content in this section, obviously, because I just started it in the last stream. So it doesn't sound as full. We'll work on that. I'm not very happy with this drum pattern here. I like it, but then it has a fill at the end, and then it goes into this section, which is identical, and it seems a bit weak to me. So we'll work on that too. Now this introduction, I only have the one instrument, and I kind of have an idea of what I'd like. Oh, thank you very much, Matthias. That's Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you once again for being so patient. I really do appreciate it very, very much. Okay, so over here we just have this one instrument. Now, if you missed the last stream, what I did here was I used the tempo track to make this gradually speed up. Now, listening to it, it's not apparent, to be honest, that it's speeding up. Excuse me. I shoved a few pikelets down before I started the stream, so my stomach wouldn't be rumbling during the stream. You didn't need to know that. So yeah, I've got this like gradual increase of tempo here. It's not that apparent because it's a slow melody. And I think what we need is something like a bass line or some kind of percussion. But I don't want the percussion to be too much because I want it to really kick in when it gets to the end of that. So maybe something bass-wise, but I want it to be apparent that it's speeding up. So let's see what we can do here. I'm thinking what I might do is put some chords behind this, and Joe says, please cook up a trap track one of these days. I would like to see you make some trap 808s too. Okay, well, trap is not something I've ever made, but you know what? I'm not averse to that idea, and I am making a note of things to do after Songtember is finished. Basically, if my streams continue to run extremely smoothly, I'm thinking that I may stream much more than making videos. I find that I really enjoy making the music live, and you know, there are lots of people who make videos demonstrating apps, doing like full tutorials on them, and I like doing that. I do like doing that, but maybe it's maybe it doesn't need another person doing the same thing. Maybe it might be better if I just use apps live while I'm making music and people get to see, maybe not a full tutorial of them, but maybe what you need more than anything when you're thinking about buying an app is to hear it being used in a track. It's a thought anyway. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on my list of things to do. I've got my Darth Vader book here. And in my Darth Vader book, I make all the notes of things that I must not forget because I'm 51 and I forget everything. Okay, so that was Joe Trap. I will know what that means. All right. I don't know where I'd be without that Darth Vader book. Right, so what's Kinora saying? Music sounds great, nice chord progression. Make some notes, split them up. I was thinking actually in that new section, I might do an arpeggio because this is cyber metal, as I call it, which is basically cyberpunk with some metal guitars in. Which is, it's a close relative to synthwave, and this track I think at the moment sounds a bit synthwave, so I think that might work. Right, okay, so what should we do first, bass line or chords? I think I'm going to do bass line because I want to hear that gradual speeding up thing going on. So let me get a bit closer to my gear. Right. So I'll just close this for now. Let's try and remember to use the mouse. We'll go here and let's add another track. Let me go to this view for you. Right then, so we'll add a MIDI track. And now I've been tinkering around with this fantastic app. I was thinking about using that for the chords. So, you know what? I'm just going to leave that as it is, and then we'll add another track. Yeah, let's leave that there. Add another track. And this time we'll go with King of Bass, I think. There we are. Audio kit. King of Bass. Create. Alright, now I've got my keyboard attached. There we go. Now I better turn this down a bit while we find the sound. Okay, first job, let's find a sound I can use. Now we're in C, aren't we? Let's go to all here. I don't want a sequence. I want to put the bass line in myself, and I think it's just going to be a real straight line, to be honest. I'm thinking just a straight pumping bass line, gradually speeding up. With that kind of effect. That sort of thing. Hey, Pete. Thanks for joining us, dude. You know, there's so many sounds in this, I could be doing this for ages. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose one, then I'll make it into the sound I want. Right, that's kind of the sound I want, but I don't want an arpeggio, so a sequence. So let's go and switch the sequence off. Now I'll just play that C. Right, that's close to the kind of sound I want. Okay, maybe kick it off. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the bass line in, and then I'm gonna pissy pants around with the sound. So let's go to here. Now then, my track's not labelled. That upsets me a lot. Right, let's put King of Bass in here, so I know what I'm doing. Right, now I want a MIDI part. Create MIDI region, which has come up in that awful GarageBand green. I could change that later. Right, let's go to the editor. Now, which frequency do I want to be on? I want it to be nice and low. That might be a bit too low. Right, so we're on snap to, I think, quarter notes. I think quarter notes. I think short, punchy quarter notes. Can I draw it in with this? Let's see. That might just be the very thing, actually. I like that tool. How cool is that? Right, let's see what that's like. Oh, I started too early. Yeah, of course I have. I knew that. Let's just get rid of these. Okay. Switch back to that tool. Okay. And now, I don't seem to be able to lasso notes with the mouse. Is that a problem? Is that me? Or is that my mouse? Or is that a problem with Logic at the moment? Right, okay. And then we'll start from here. Now from there, yeah. Okay. Oh, of course, the bass is too loud for now, but I'll leave it like that while I'm working on it. There you can hear the tempo speed up. Okay, that's great, but I'm wondering actually if I could drop that tempo at the very beginning a little bit more so that it's more obvious as it speeds up. Maybe just bring it down that bit more. Okay. I do like to piss pants around with these things. Am I planning to add a bass guitar as well, or will the synth be enough? I'm going to be using some bass guitar. At some point, you see, at this point of the track here, I've got this bass type sound which is filling in the low end. At some point, that's going to drop out and the bass guitar is going to kick in. I'm thinking maybe kind of kick the bass and guitar in at the same time, you know, and really kind of hit it. So for the beginning of the track, maybe make it sound like it is going to be a synthwave track or a synth only kind of cyberpunk track, and then hit them with the guitars. It's kind of my thought. I mean, you know, who knows if it's going to go that way. Right, so let's see what we can do with this. I need a loop around here, like this. So much more difficult to do with the mouse than my finger, but you can see when I do that. You have a problem selecting stuff with mouse in Cubase, similar to what just happened there in Logic. Yeah. I don't know, you see, because I've seen Vortex do it, right? And Vortex with his mouse is great. I think it's just me who doesn't really honestly like using the mouse. Maybe if I did all the time and I got more used to it, then, you know, maybe I wouldn't suck so terribly at it. But maybe it's just that. Not sure. Right. So I want this app open so I can pissy pants around with it. Right. It sustains too long. We'll go here. Right. No release. Actually, if it just sounded a bit subby, it would be cool. No, I don't like that. We'll leave that as it was. What about some chorus? Like that. Make it sound more subby. Yeah, okay, I like that. I'm not sure this heat is exactly what I want from this sound in terms of dirt. Kick it. What about that? No, we don't want that. No, I don't want that. Oh, that changes things. Pete says mouse in Logic Pro for iPad is really dodgy. Rarely selects and drags. Hoping for some improvement in a 1.01 update. Yeah. When's that coming? You know? Okay. So that's close to the sound I want. But you know what? Although I've got the heat there for some dirt, I think what I want more dirt than that. I just feel like I need more. I want more filth somehow. So let's go to here. And let's add this. I just got this. Valves by Audio Thing. This is great, okay? So if you don't know anything about this app, very, very briefly, it's kind of, it's just, it's just an overdrive unit. It sort of simulates valves and you can decide how overdriven they are, and you can also add a cabinet into the mix as well. You'll see what I mean as I go along. I don't want to sort of try and do a full app tutorial. I'm just going to piss pants around with it so you can hear what I'm talking about. Oh, now that's a nice sound. Let's drive it. Turn down the output a bit. There. Right, let's put this cabinet on, see if this has got anything for us. I'm not feeling the cabinet thing. I think I'm going to leave the cabinet off. Jade's doing a full tutorial for this app on the next show, so be sure to check that out. Let's try a little filter in here. Right, okay, now that's something close to what I want. I think we'll just take that bass volume down a little bit. Actually, you know what I could do with doing here is, taking the volume of the app down so that I can bring it up on the desk. Yeah, that's still not enough. Tell you what, we'll bring it down in valves as well. Do a bit of gain staging as we go. For now, that'll do us. Right. Okay, now let's see if we can throw some chords on with SNES synth. Has anyone got an opinion on exactly how you're supposed to say that? I know Patrick was not sure. Right, so let's just pull it up, right? SNES synth. Not sure. Okay, I want to label this because it just really, really upsets me when things are not labelled. The GarageBand Green is upsetting me as well, if I'm honest. Right, now I have this idea for let's find a sound. Let's find a sound before we go on. Before we start piss-panting around with my ideas. I should have brought the volume of that down, shouldn't I? I'm going to do it on the desk, like a sensible hippie. Okay, I don't want to blow your eardrums out. Yeah, right. Let's find a sound There is a sound actually that I think is quite close to what I want. I'll just see if I can find it here. Because the reason I'm thinking about using this app is because the cyberpunk thing and retro gaming is very much whatever that clever word is for can't think of the clever word. For two things that are sort of no, connected, but there's a better word for it. Tell me in the chat what word it is I'm looking for. Right. They go hand in hand, I suppose you could say. Lots of great sounds. None of these are the ones I'm looking for. Ooh, that's pretty. Just have a look down, see if I can see what it is I'm looking for. I was pissy-panting around with this sound the other day, and I don't think it's that one. Oh, that one. There. Just like a very lo-fi, fluty kind of a sound. Now, let's have a little play around with it. Start here. More release time. Okay, I've got the two sides of the ADSR linked. What you can do with this app, if you don't know, is you've got two sounds basically. You blend two sounds with this mix control here. So if I just play a chord, then you can hear this one, and then this one, right? And you've got an ADSR for each side. I've got them linked, so I only need to use this one. Yeah, I think I want quite a bit of sustain and release on that. It takes about right. I think maybe bring that one up an octave. Yeah, I think that's going to be better. Is that Bob on in tune? Right, maybe we should fine tune them slightly out of tune to each other. Maybe make that one flat. Okay. Is that... Let's switch off the LFO. Yeah, because that's modulating that out of tuniness. I don't think I want that. I think I want it to be steady. Do I want the delay? Let's try a bit of phaser. That's nice. Wouldn't be too extreme. Just a little of it. Right, okay. Now, let's see if we can make this real filthy. Or would it be better with fire? Maybe a little fire and a lot of crush? Hey Gerald, thanks for being here, man. It's okay, you don't need a late note. At the very beginning of the stream, there was a little bit of a drama, so I had difficulty starting the stream, so you missed that. Okay, I'm thinking this sound might be the thing. Now, what were the chords? The chords at the beginning of this section. Let's see if I can remember without looking in my Darth Vader book. We had a C, but it was second inversion C, so that would be that. and then a C9, C2, back to boring old C. I'm just wondering if that would work in the background of this bit. So let's just take this back, and I might have difficulty doing this in time, but let's see. I think that might work. I think I'm going to have a go at that. It'll be an awful mess, but I can always, I can always tidy it up after. So if I take let's take the noggin back over here, and let's record this track. I don't need that. Oh, no, I ain't got metronome. I know you're all just absolutely aghast at my keyboard skills. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. Right. Let's have a look at this in the editor and see if we can. I wonder if will Quantize cope with this. Let's give it a try. Can I quantize to like a bar? I can. Okay, it's not done it's done the starts, it's not done the ends. Is there a way to tidy up the ends? Am I thinking about Cubasis here? To make the notes an exact length, does it do that? If you know in the chat, then tell me. Let's just do a little quick tidy, because there's not many notes to sort out anyway. That one seems to be right. Right, okay, correct this. Right, those ones are too long. Okay, looks about right. Okay. Use the mouse, hippie. Okay, let's see what we've got. Oh, just had a thought. I've got noises kicking in here. Noises comes in like... there. Maybe noises could come in earlier, and it could, right, let's try it. Noises, automation, switch this to, oh no, that's right. Yeah, noises trigger. Okay, so where does, maybe noises could actually be the first thing that you hear, because I just think it might work. That's why. This is what I was talking about in the last stream, where I was saying, always leave some space at the start of your project. Never start bar one. Bad plot. If you do, you'll think of a great idea that needs to go at the start. So now then, where's noises? There we go. Right, now if I grab this here and drag this over, maybe it could start. Where's the first note of the synth? The lead bit is right there. Okay, so if noises came in maybe about here, something like that. Let's go right to the beginning of the project and see what happens if I do that. Yeah, dude, you need to have noises. Noises is fantastic. It really is brilliant. I did a video about it. Stop talking to people in the chat and look at the camera. I did a video about it. Check it out. It is an awesome app. Right. But the thing with noises is I'll just show you something quickly. Right. Is it has this button here, the trigger, which is what activates it and deactivates it. So what I do with it is I use automation to switch it on and off during the project. So I just set it up making a noise that I like, and then I just switch it on and off. Now it has this, it has, I think, a way to, yeah, right. So maybe I can make this fade in. Slow down the attack, and then, yeah, let's make it as slow as it possibly can be. That should make it fade in now when it activates. Let's see if that works. Yeah. All right. I think I'm liking that intro. I think that's. I think it needs a bit more yet. It needs a little more. You know what? Maybe that bass line could stand a bit of reverb. So if I go right, so I'm going to go to my desk, and let's just on the desk we'll have sends activated, and there's the bass. So if I go here we'll use the drum kit reverb, see what that sounds like. You like the transition? Good, because I like it. I really like it. So it's nice when, I mean, this is great, making music live, and I do something that I dig, and if you guys are there and you think it's, it's kind of reassuring, and it's nice. It's nice. Just yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Right. So if we had got the song into the correct position, then we would be hearing some bass. I'll gradually turn it up on a soloed bass, and we'll see what it sounds like. Yeah. Okay. Now I wouldn't put a lot of bass. I wouldn't put a lot of reverb on a bass. On a real bass, I would almost never use any reverb on it, but on a synth bass, I might use a touch here and there. But this bass is only really going to be playing, I think, in that introduction, and there's a lot of space there. I think there's room for it. Let's see what that's like. Yeah, let's start the track in a sensible place. Yeah, alright, that works. Right, now I didn't think about the reverb for this sound. Let's just have a little play with that. Cut it off the lows. Okay, that's pretty gnarly. Okay, yeah, I'm liking that. I'm kind of wondering actually whether to use valves on this as well. Let's have a quick tinker with that. Right, so oh yeah. Now I think cabinet might come useful on this one. Let me give you a little zoom in on the valves thing. Right, yeah. So I'm going to start with cabinet on this one because there's a sound here. There's some like really broken up old ancient sounding speaker emulations. Is that too much? Don't like that one. No. This one. Maybe drive it a little less. Hey, Grant's here. Dude, thanks for joining us, man. Right, now I may have overdone this, I'm not sure. I need to hear it in the track, but what an awesome app. Speaking of valves, people are comparing this to that other app. What's it called? The other Valve emulation app. I've got it. Let's have a quick look. Wood Valvet. Right, that one. Let me point to it with this. There, that one. Which is also awesome. Now I've not had time to have a full pissy pants around with that one. There's more to it than this one. I think it's maybe more a more creative emulation. But this one, it really does have the guts of a Valve type sound. So I think it might be interesting to do a video comparing the two. I should put that on my list of things in my Darth Vader book as well. Anyway, this is quite sufficient for what I need from this, but I may have overdone it. So let's have a listen. When we get to the right bit of the song. Just drop it back with the mix control. Right, I'm just going to drop the output on this. Then I can boost it up on the desk. Switch off these sends. I do love how on the Logic desk I can select what I want to appear on the desk and what I don't, so that I can go back to having my nice long faders. Right, so I've turned that right down. Yeah, I'm still too used to Cubasis, jumping back to where I started from. Okay, so now let's see if we can bring this up. Okay, now I still feel like that introduction needs a bit of something else. I'm not sure exactly what yet. Maybe some kind of like a drum sound, nothing like the drum sound that the track's gonna have. The track's got that sort of, well, it's drum 80, it's got that Simmons sound. I'm thinking maybe something like, I don't know, some distant sounding old school toms, maybe the Clev Grand Slammer, something like that. But I think I'm going to leave that for now. I'll leave myself a little time to germinate thoughts and ideas on that, and let's go and have a listen to this section over here. Let's see if we can do something with this section. This needs building up too. Right, okay, now I was thinking about maybe putting an arpeggio on this bit, as I mentioned earlier. So, what synth, if you were gonna add a kind of synth wavy kind of arpeggio to a track, what synth would you choose? Let's hear from you in the chat. Is my chat working? It seems to have gone a little bit quiet out there. Maybe you're all just, just a bit stunned with my keyboard playing ability. Maybe that's what it is. Or maybe the YouTube chat's still not fixed. Right. I'm getting mouse confusion here. That's my computer one. I'm putting that over there. Right. What else? So I'm thinking that the bass guitar will kick in by this point, so I'm not thinking of adding a bass instrument here just yet. We'll do that when we get the guitars out. Jupiter 8. Vital. I don't have either. I hate how I've got that fill there and then it just goes back to exactly the same drum thing. I might even just take that drum fill out. Or change it. Or change the one at the end. Let's see. Well, Mateus Synthmaster 1 it's a good go-to to have. It really is a stunning synth. In fact, I think actually I've used that quite a bit more than Synthmaster 2, if I'm honest. Now, let's see. Something that's going to give me that very 80s kind of a sound. Now, I'm wondering... yeah, okay. Right, let's add a synth track here. I'm going to try and resist the temptation to waste your time watching me change the colours of tracks. I'm sure that's very boring to watch, but it is really, really bugging me. It'll be the first thing I do after I end the stream. Okay, let's choose a synth. Now then, I don't like this in Logic. I don't like how the only way that you can select an AV3 is by looking through developer names. I can't always remember the developer name. I can't always remember the name of the app, if we're honest. I am absolutely loving this one. No. Yes. There it is. Why couldn't I see that? There we are. Right. This is an absolutely stunning synth. I've got so many. DX7. Oh. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, look, I have used this synth in tons and tons of stuff, and I'm sure it'll be making another appearance in this track. I'm already using it once, but yeah, DX7. Okay, that's the flavor. So let's change this. We'll grab. I didn't mean to press remove. I meant to press replace, but never mind. Okay, so we're having a bit of an audio kit day. Let's go and get King of FM. Right then. Okay. When you say DX7 or was that 90s, do I gather from that you're not old enough to remember? because I certainly am. Right, let's go to all. Ooh, I really should have turned this down. Let's do that. Okay, that's better. That's a fantastic sound. It's nothing like what I want, but I like that sound. FM Tron. I do love the Tron movies. You know what would be cool is if I... Oh, you are old enough. Are you then old enough to be confused about what synth was when? What would be cool is if I actually put the arpeggio in, if I got that happening, and then go through the sounds with the arpeggio happening. If I could just find one that's... I don't want something soft, I want something... Oh, actually, that'll get us started. All right. So I don't want to do a sequence with this. I want to use an arpeggiator. Let me go to this view for you. Right, so if I get this here, I'll go to copy, drag this over. So just get us started with the chords. Then let's have a loop around this bit here. Okay. Let's play that. Okay. What about if we add Logic's arpeggiator? People do keep mentioning to me that I keep just using lots of apps and not built-in Logic stuff, much of which is very, very good. The truth is, I'm very used to the apps that I'm used to, and I actually haven't spent that much time getting used to There are some things in Logic that I have used quite a lot, but there's a lot actually that I've really hardly looked at, I've got to be honest. And, and I'm looking at this, and I have used this in a track. I can't say I'm massively familiar with it, though. Let's see if I can make it do something useful. I'm just going to gradually pissy pants around with it. Now we're in C major. Right, octave range. Variation on note order. I don't like that. That sounds like something from a game that my daughter would play. What about random? What's that like? Messy. Up and down. Let's try another octave. That's closer. That's much closer to the sound I want. Okay. It's a little bit too... I think there's a little bit too much decay on each note. I can adjust that in the synth, or I think I can gate in the arpeggiator. I wonder which would be best. Let's have a little look at the sound itself first. Right, so we'll go here. Now. Right, make sure the sequence is off in this. Right. Okay, I'm going to turn the reverb off for now. I'm not sure I want to make that lo-fi. Right, definitely don't want any stereo widen on. There's no delay on right now. Right, okay, we've got these two sides linked. Let's have a listen to the two sides. Right, so these are just, this is the same sound either side that we can mix between, and they are just set to be slightly out of tune with each other, which is giving us that lovely, slightly 80s out of tuney sound. Yeah, that's nice. No panning involved, that's what we want, that's good. Right, no decay. What about no release? That seems to work, hang on. Arpeggiators work much better when you play the chord right. I just think it wants a little bit more bite, that's all. Not that kind of bite. Oh, nice slow chorus. Not too much of. Nice. Okay. It sounds great, that, but it's not going to work in this track, but, you know. Okay. Okay, we're getting there, so what about a little bit of lo-fi? Now that's added a bit more bite to the front end of the sound. Okay, I like that. And, okay. Now, reverb. Cut off the low end of it. Always chop out the low end of your reverbs. It'll make your mixing so much easier. I think I like the chamber sound best. Now, whether I'll actually use the reverb for this particular app or whether I will switch it off and use an external reverb, don't know yet, but for now I'm going to leave it on. I'm liking the sound of it, it works. So let's see about this in the mix then. Let's see what let's see what it sounds like. Let's go back to like halfway through this bit so I can hear it kicking in. Right, I think I was wrong about that sound not having enough bite. I think that's perfectly all right. It don't want to be very loud. It wants to be almost like I've put it in the same. I've basically, let's be honest, I've just used exactly the same MIDI for the arpeggio as I did for Tal, for the chords in the background. I want them to kind of merge, blend. I want it to almost sound like it could be from the same synth patch. So I just want those just nicely blended together, and I thought that it was going to be lacking in bite to cut through the other sound, but actually it sounds fine. Tal, by the way, is just one of my absolute favorite apps. This is just, I'm not saying it's like it's the best app, or the Juno was the best synth or anything. It's just a sound that I really, really love. Okay, so let's see now. We've got the arpeggio for that. The drums are annoying me, so maybe I should look at the drums next. Also thinking in this section, maybe a choir sound. Maybe a choir sound. Beat Hawk choir. I'd use that symphonic, but like that, I hate the AUV3 on it. You should make some decent sampler libraries. Looks like you have good equipment and everything to do it. That is something I could possibly do, Joe. I mean, I do some samples for patrons. On my Patreon account, I have a folder where there are some samples. They're mostly drum one shots, and then some drum loops, a few synth loops, a few guitar loops. I've got some more to add to it. It's just time, but that I am building that. Yeah, some oohs and ahs. I think a nice big, let's look at that. No, let's look at drums. Yeah, let's have a think about these drums. So these drums are coming in after this section. Just take that loop off. I wanted to hear a bit of this first, just to kind of put it all in context. Okay, here's another way of thinking about it. Right, so for this track, I need to think about where am I guitar and where is guitar and bass going to kick in? Because I have this idea of I don't want to gradually build layers of guitar and bass into this track. I want it to be like, it sounds like synthwavy or cyberpunky, and then the guitars just suddenly kick in. That's kind of my thought for it. And so where does that happen? And then how does that affect what I'm doing with the drums? So bear with me. Let me just, we're going to go to the start of the track. And I'll turn it down slightly so I can just talk over it with my thoughts. So let's go to the narration screen. We'll take it way back to the very beginning, turn it down slightly on my mixer so you can hear me waffling. Alright, so we've got this introduction. Happy with what we've done to this so far. It's kind of atmospheric. And it builds, it speeds up. And then this kick drum comes in. Right, that takes it to there, right? the layers kick in. Now, this section is a repeat of what has just happened. This is going to need a new layer here. Then if you see up here, we've got this synth kicks in here. It's a bit quiet in the mix actually. I'm thinking that could maybe come in like 8 bars earlier. Right, okay, so my thought process here is kind of messed up what I was doing there, but I just need to go to King of FM here, my first instance of it in this track, and turn it up a little bit because I've made it a little bit quiet in the mix there. Right, then we've got this section. Okay, now the arpeggiator is going to help to kind of lift that section there. I kind of feel like the bass and drums want to kick in right here. Real bass DJ. So maybe a double up of that section is not what we want there. Maybe we just want to cut that back to one play through that section. And then go back to this, the main section as I'm calling it for some reason, and bring the guitar and bass in there. The thing is though, is I've got this climb on the end that would... Hang on. So let's just think. Right, okay, so I'm thinking, right, maybe this section here, this part, right, maybe that comes in again later on in the track and we have it this full length like it is here, but with augmented drums. Maybe for this first section, because the guitars and bass need to kick in, maybe we just use this last half of it here, just 8 bars of it, and then we go back to this section, the guitar and bass kicks in, and then later on we have this double length. I'm thinking. What do we think? Does that sound like a good idea? I'll put it to you. What do you think to that idea? I'm going to pissy pants around with it and set that up because you know what? I mean, I can always change it, can't I? It's so easy with MIDI to get an arrangement together. This is why I like to do this. I like to work with arrangements, you know, the drums, the synths, all that kind of stuff. Get some ideas together, sort of like a template, something to work with when I get the guitars out, and because they're harder to change later because it's real audio. So if I just, if I was just to copy these to later in the project, let's lasso all these, right? Copy that, drag all that over here, just so that we've got that over there as it is at the moment. Then I'll chop down this and this. Bang that over here. Oh, I've still got copy on. Oh, never mind. Right, just delete that one. Yeah, really wish we had a delete button. Okay, then I can get rid of that drum pattern there. Have I added any automation or fading? It'll transition in better between instruments. What do you mean, Joe? Do you mean Any automation of fading? Do you mean fading like the tail end of an instrument into the next section? Because everything I have here right now is MIDI. I would do that sort of thing if I'm understanding you correctly when I convert everything to real audio, because I do convert everything to real audio before I finish a mix. Ramping up the drums to include more crash and toms will lift it for second half. Yeah, I think you're right. I think in that second half of that bit, see at the moment, right, this section, these drums are a little bit more laid back and these are kind of more full on. Maybe when we get to the repeat of this section later on, we make those drums there more full on than these. And I have an idea about how I'm going to do that. I'm thinking about using that new app that I really like that I can't remember the name of. So let's do this again. We'll go over here and oh no, I didn't want to do that, did I? Like this. Blipbox. I'm thinking Blipbox and Phase Monkey will both make an appearance in this track. I may do that tomorrow. That might be tomorrow's job. So kind of maybe leave these drums as they are and add Blipbox, like another layer of percussion doing something interesting over the top. That might be the thing. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, right. So this is happening here. So let's just make sure that this sounds sensible, that this works. Right, so when that gets to the end there and it kicks back into this section, if that's where the bass and guitars came in, I think that would work. Right, so now, before I just start adding to this section here, I just want to have a think about this here. So what I was saying earlier is, here, after this part, take the loop off. Try that again. After this part, right, then the track kicks in, sort of full on. Okay, King of FM's doing weird things. If I play that note, will it stop it doing it? No, that's not what I want to do. I want to do this. Has this got like a MIDI panic button? I can't remember seeing a MIDI panic button in here. Ah, there we are. Just pressing the note. I was on the wrong octave. Just pressing the note will just correct it. All right, so what I was saying then is we've got... So this is where the first kind of main section comes in. Right. Then at the moment, as it stands, it's just simply repeating, nothing new happening, although, certainly I'll be adding more layers of instruments. Maybe choir comes in there at that point. Then I've got this lead here. Maybe that lead should come in 8 bars earlier, and I should chop these ones out. It would make it a fairly short section, I think, for an instrumental track, but maybe we could do that, just kind of set up the sections all quite briefly, then the guitars and bass kick in, and then the sections repeat, maybe be longer because we could have, leads and stuff. in there. Guitar stuff going on. Maybe that. Let's try it. Yeah, I'm just going to chop my project up a bit and let's just see what it sounds like. Right, so this would be there. And then these would disappear. So we drag these in a bit. There. King of FM has a MIDI panic you can press. Okay, I must look for that. I must look for that. I wasn't sure there was one. Right, so then, if that, right, so if I copy these, bring these over here, right, then these would be here. Or maybe this, oh, yeah, I should have moved rather than copied, but, so I'll just get rid of those. Oh, we've lost a camera. Which camera is that? That's that one. What's going on there? That's never right, is it? Well, I suppose it was a little bit optimistic when I said, let's hope we have no more screw-ups for the rest of this stream. Right, so now, according to the software on the computer, it's working. What about this? Is it working there? No, it's not working there. Well, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug it and plug it back in again. Can't get it back in. Right. It is now plugged back in. And the computer says it's working. And OBS is not picking up on it. Why would that be? Well, there is another option. I could... Let's just press things and see if it makes it work. Sounds like a wise idea, right? Come on. Yeah. Computer software says it's working. OBS is not talking to it. Oh well. Well, we'll just have to live without that. I'll have to keep remembering to use my mouse. Actually, I can't stream for too much longer anyway, so it's not the end of the world. Right. So, what have I got? I've got something of a structure. Let's take a listen to it from the... Let's just take a listen to it from the start. Let's see. Just fire up my streaming software again. Okay, right then. Let's have a listen to this from the start and give me your thoughts in the chat. All right, so that's the track as it is up to now. Now, let me just point something out to you here. You have various options in Logic Pro. What you'd like to appear across the top of the screen here is actually ages since I set mine up. Let's see if I can just remember where you would do customize control bar there. And in here you can decide which things you want to have displayed and what you don't want to have displayed. I've got most things displayed, but one thing that I really, really like, if I can, right, so we've got, yeah, so for position in the song, I've got it set to beats and time. So it gives me, my bar count and everything, but it also gives me how long the track is here. So just there, it tells me how long. So that's where my track goes up to, and it starts just a couple of bars in at the moment from the beginning. So it's basically almost 2.5 minutes long. When you're creating, sometimes it's important how long the track is. Sometimes, you might not give a shit about it, but to me, I like to know that I just like to know how long it is. So there, 2.5 minutes. I mean, it's a reasonable length for me to be thinking about at this point in the track. Some kind of a change, something that's a bit different from everything else that's happened so far, and then maybe drop back into the main section, double that up towards the end. It's a bit of a typical kind of a songwriting kind of a arrangement, really, but I tend to think of instrumentals, even though there's no singing, I kind of think of them like in that sort of song structure kind of way, because it works, doesn't it? It's enough different elements. The human ear likes things that are sort of predictable to a point. You don't want to be too predictable, but it's a balancing act between all of those factors. So I'm looking for something a little bit different to happen just there, and right now I don't know exactly what. Maybe I need to start putting some guitars in. Maybe I'll get the idea for what happens next from the guitars. But I want to, in my next stream, I want to add, I want to use Phase Monkey and Blip. I'm going to use them to add a couple more layers to what we have here so far. Maybe doing that will give me the idea for the next bit, for a change, just something different. And I think then I'll be able to complete the arrangement and start putting the guitars on. So from what you've heard so far today, any ideas from you guys about a change that you think the track needs, or an idea, something you think would work in this track? What are your thoughts? Tell me what you think in the chat. I'm just gonna have a quick look through what I've got here. I'm still resisting the temptation to go in and start colouring things. One thing that springs to mind, and if I did this, it wouldn't be the first time I've done it in a track like this, and I don't like to repeat my ideas too much, but it has been very effective, would be, for a middle section for the track happening round about here, would be to do something along the same lines as the intro, kind of drop it back down to something atmospheric like that, and then come back in with a bang. Am I going to play and record my guitar in? Oh yeah. I'll be once I've got an arrangement. The way I would like to do it is, once I've got an arrangement that I think that's going to be the arrangement as far as the MIDI, the synths, the drums, that sort of thing, then I'll be streaming, putting down the guitars. And the way I'll probably approach that is, when I've done this before, it's quite some time ago now with Cubasis, but is I'll put guitars down. I'll not try and sort of, maybe get all the final exacting edits and everything perfectly in place, because that would be very, very boring to watch. But I would put the guitar parts down live, so we're building up an idea of all the parts that are required. And one thing that I'm definitely going to focus on as we go along with this is how I'm going to pan the guitars, use different amp sim sounds, how I'm going to layer them up and make them sound full but not take over the mix and destroy everything else. I'll definitely be concentrating on that. Nambrini or overloud, or you have some other amp or external amp in mind. I'll not be using anything external, purely because I've done an awful lot of recording guitars and bass with all sorts of different things, all kinds of different approaches, and I've reached a point where I am now convinced that using software, I can get just as good a sound, and actually it's much easier to manipulate a sound that's suitable for the recording. And of course, the great thing about software is it is manipulable. Okay, I'm struggling on that word. After the fact, you can keep on changing it right as you mix in. Keep on changing the sound and find something that works perfectly. So we'll not be using anything external. As far as what plugins, or rather apps, I will be using for my guitars in this track, I will be, what did you mention? Overloud. I don't use overloud. I think overloud is great, although I dislike the interface. I don't like the fact that it's kind of skeuomorphic in appearance, but you can't move the controls with your fingers, which is what's second nature for me to do. It does sound fantastic. There's an incredible amount of great sounds in there. I don't know what the prices are like, because like I have used it and I own some of it, but to be honest, I like to use the Nambrini amps and various effects. I like to use some of the effects in ToneStack Pro, and I'm a big fan of Rhino. I think Rhino is a fantastic amp for manipulating a metal sound. So those will be the main ones that I'm using. Guitar solo or drum solo or time signature change temporarily, or change tempo back to intro for small part. Yeah, you know, I think that could work. That could definitely work. I'm not so sure about the time change, the time signature change. It's just Cyberpunk tends to be very, very 4/4. That might be a good reason to change it. And maybe it's something I should experiment with. Actually, I'm going to keep an open mind about that. That might be a very, very good thought. Logic Amp Designer is great. It is. It's fantastic. It's really, really good, and I really should piss pants around with it more. So far, I've not done anything with it that I think competes with the Nambrini amps, but you know, I need to spend more time with it. Got to be honest. Now, what's Matthias saying? Any thoughts on the new Scarlett interface? No, is my honest answer. But Patrick seems to like it, and Patrick is a god when it comes to these things. So if Patrick digs it, I'm sure it's awesome. I don't tend to get sent interfaces very much. I have had a few actually. Nothing recently. I wouldn't mind it actually. Focusrite sent me things, but Focusrite, whenever I've tried to contact them, they just don't reply to me whatsoever. So, you know, I take it that I'm not big enough. I'm not big enough channel for them. Amp modeling is fine. Just plugging gear on, absolutely. Yeah. Who wants, you know? Yeah, actually, the processor from Donna, that looks fabulous. I've had some stuff from Donna, and I've been very impressed with it. I have to say the Starry Pad is great. The Donna B1 is superb. I really, really like that. That they didn't send me that though. I'm trying to get them to send me one. That belongs to a friend. And I have this pedal from Donna, which I have to do a video of soon. This is an Octave pedal with some super magic hidden clever features. It's brilliant for next to no money at all. So I rate Donna very highly. Yeah, it would be nice to have some interfaces sent. What I could really do with, actually, you know, like if you think of this from the point of view of like, so I do YouTube when it'll let me start the stream, and so if you send me something, I'll use it, I'll make a video with it or whatever, and I'll give it some publicity, and you know, that's the way these things work. So I get the item for free, and that's my payment. And it would be nice to get a better microphone for streaming. I mean, this is doing the job, it's all right, but it's not the ideal thing. I'd quite like one of those things from IK Multimedia. I might send them another message and see if I can persuade them to send me one. You know, what's it called? The thingy, right? Let's find it, right? So you know what I'm talking about. Because if I go to, we'll just get the website. Oh, hang on, I need my keyboard now. IK Multimedia, right? Code there, and I can change this over to here, so right, so you can see that. Right, IK Multimedia. Where's their website? There we go. Products. See, that's a new interface that IK Multimedia really ought to have sent to me, because perfect for guitarists, right? What do I do? Right, so all products, where would it be? I guess it's an interface, really. What I would really like to get, actually, oh, there it is. What would really help me out, actually, is one of these. I'd like one of those. This is the microphone I was talking about. There we go, the iRig Stream Mic Pro. I'd be very interested in demonstrating one of these. I think this looks like the absolute ideal thing for me for the way I stream. And so, you know, if they sent me one, I'd be like using it in every single stream. So surely that'd be pretty good advertising. Anyway, right, I've kind of gone a little bit off the point there, but you know, it's nice to have a chat, isn't it? Jade's reviewing that one this Friday, she. I think Patrick has as well. I think Patrick did one on it, which I haven't watched yet, but I watch all Patrick's videos, and most of Jade's too. When I say most of, I mean I'd be happy to watch every single second that Jade's on air, because Jade's fantastic. It's just that Jade's on a lot. That's all. I can't always catch it. What I actually very often do is when I'm in the car on the way to and from a gig, I listen to the streams that I've missed, so I can't watch because I'm driving, but I'll listen to a lot of Jade's stuff in that way. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to call it a day for today, because I have to go and do a few little jobs, and then I'm going to go and pick up my youngest from school. He started back at school today. So we're going to see what kind of a day he's had. So thank you very, very much for being patient at the beginning of this stream. My apologies once again for the fuck up, basically, at the beginning of this stream. No idea why it wouldn't work. I mean, just resetting the router. Really? Why should I even have to do that? Why does that even work? Okay, and apologies for the loss of that camera there. I'll have to have a look into that, why that happened. So thank you very, very much for sticking with me. Thank you for your patience. I really, really appreciate all of you. I'm going to call it a day for today, and my plan is, all being well, as long as it lets me start the stream, I'll be back at the same time tomorrow for a couple more hours of working on this track. All right? If any of you need any help whatsoever with your song timbre stuff or anything else music related, then all the information is down below the video how you can contact me, and you are always very, very welcome to do so. All right, take care all of you. Oh, I should have queued this up and I could have played out with it. Take care, everyone. Make lots of music, be kind and be good, and try not to piss pants about. See you later.